Does your resume sound something like this? Seasoned finance professional with over 25 years experience in the banking industry. Or maybe seasoned IT professional with over 25 years experience in computer hardware. Here's my question. Are you seasoned with salt and pepper or with a nice barbecue rub? My name is Bill Benoist. I'm a certified professional career coach here in Silicon Valley. I primarily work with people in mid to late career. I like to say I help them find jobs that fuel their passion rather than zapping it. And for the older worker, you're not seasoned. You are accomplished. And you want to showcase your accomplishments because myself, as a hiring manager, I want to know what it is that you can do for me. Can you resolve my pain points? For you, what you want to come in with is, I am a professional, I have no problems, I cause no problems, and I'm here to solve all of your problems. So let's talk about accomplishments for a second. Let me read you 2 bullet points that have came off of resumes in the last month. And this first bullet point, I see it way too often. Manage the operating expenses by monitoring vendor activities and suggesting process improvements. Might sound good for a lot of people, but let me now read you one that's a little bit different. Reduced operating expenses by 49% through tighter expense controls in negotiating better insurance rates and more effective use of outside consultants. One of these is showing that hiring manager what it is that you can do, how it is going to be that you will solve all of their problems. See the difference? You're accomplished. You're not seasoned. Now, just a moment ago, I said you are a professional. Okay, what does that mean? Well, one of the first things is you show up on time and you smile and maybe elbow bump now instead of shaking hands, but you're dressed accordingly. Think about this for a moment. Have a 25-year-old house and it's gone up in value. It's appreciated, just like you've appreciated over the years. But maybe you want to sell this house now. You're not going to sell it just as is. You're probably going to touch it up, make it more curb appealing to those that are driving by. Well, we need to do the same thing too with your appearance. So, I don't know, is it polishing your shoes or maybe going out and getting some new shoes? But the key is, don't dress as you were dressing at the last job. Dress as what is appropriate for the new job. Let me share a story with you. I came out of the banking industry 30 some odd years ago, and I was doing a pivot into the technology industry. Now, in the banking industry, I used to wear a suit and tie. I mean, a suit and a tie all the time. And so one of the very, very first jobs that I had applied to, it was in an antivirus company, technical support position. And I go in for the interview and I'm dressed really nicely, suit and tie, come in. And the person that comes out to interview me, they're wearing like jeans. They're wearing jeans. And in the interview, they said, if you work here, you don't need to dress like this. And I said, okay, I understand. I get called back for a second interview. And guess what? I come in with the same suit, different shirt, different tie. And the person, I still remember this. This was like 30 years ago, maybe. And they said, as I mentioned last time, you don't need to dress up. We're a casual environment. Guess what? I never did get that job. You need to dress as what the environment dictates, right? So you don't need to wear hippie pants from the 1960s or something like that, or cutoffs. In fact, I always say dress just one level up from the way people are interviewing, that first interview. So, if they're wearing jeans and stuff, you'll wear some khakis. If they're wearing a t-shirt, you might wear a nice button-down shirt. If they're wearing nice button-down shirt or so, then you might want to wear a tie, just one level up, but don't overdo it. You want to dress appropriately. Here's something else that has to be really important if you are an older worker, and that is Are you aware of the latest technologies, or are you well versed in the latest technologies? Maybe you've been using C# for the last 15 years. You're aware of Python, but you're not well versed in it. Let's say you've been using Oracle for the last 10 years. You're aware of Salesforce, but you're not well versed in it. You need to stay current with times, and there's really no excuse for not being able to do this. There are so many opportunities for online learning out there. LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, Coursera. Some of these things are free, others are very, very low cost, but you have to keep your skills up. Because, there was one of the largest studies of its kind. It was an empirical study where they asked a number of HR representatives and hiring managers, what is your number one negative perception of the older worker? Negative perception of the older worker. There was a lot of answers that came back, but here is the top number 5. So the first one was the older worker was not going to have the drive or energy to do the job. Now remember, this is a perception. Number 2, the older worker would have difficulty accepting or being managed by a younger worker. Number 3, the older worker would not be open to change. Number 4, the older worker would not be open to learning new things or going to training. And number 5, the older worker would be more subject to illnesses and taking time off. Well, then they had these same individuals look at their workforce and they said, okay, so can you validate any of this? And they were only able to validate one. And that one was the older worker was not open to learning new things, going to training. They had more difficulty getting these older workers into training. So the others there, it's a perception. And it's a perception that is often made on the resume itself before they ever meet you. So by the time you go in there, and you're going in there with accomplishment statements, and you're going in there with a professional appearance, you've eliminated a lot of these things. And if you can show that you are also up to speed on the latest technologies. Finally, I want you to keep this in mind. You're not overqualified. You are accomplished, and you are someone who can take the ball and run. And this is conversations I have a lot of times, all the time actually, it seems like, with older workers, that I'm coaching, and that is, I know they're thinking of me as overqualified, even if they don't see this. Or maybe they'll sit there and say, a little bit concerned that you might be overqualified for this position. You turn back and you say, I don't see myself as being overqualified for this position. I see myself being experienced enough and accomplished enough where I can take the ball and start running with it. You are a professional. You have no problems. You create no problems, and you are here to solve all of their problems. So I hope you found this video informative and useful. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification, as I do upload new career tips and strategies every week, and I would hate for you to miss anything.